What is up, everybody? This is Recap or Rewind. I am J-Lag, and I'm here with
N-Bea.
Hey. And we are covering off
Bates Motel.
Season 5, final season. Episode 7.
Episode 7, Bates Motel. It was a good episode, right? It's called Inseperable.
Oh, yeah. They sure are. That's it. So we're going to do this a little differently. Usually we do like a recap of the entire
episode recap
thingamajig, but we talked about it a little bit earlier, and I think it just makes more sense to cover off the highlights of the episodes.
And like what are the biggest points that we think. Do
a little bit of a discussion at the end.
Yeah.
All right. So first things first, Sam Loomis, R.I.P.
R.I.P. It's weird because like when the episode started and they said that whole like last time on, I'm like, oh my god, it came and like went.
It came and went, yeah.
Like it's gone now.
Yeah.
So
they did my favorite shot, which I was thankful for. Thanks, guys. They did the slow zoom out of his eyeball, and
in this episode,
in this episode, in the shower.
So dramatic.
So dramatic, so Hitchcock. Loved it so much. So now we're now we're with Norman, and he's trying to find a way to get rid of the body. And so he is talking to his mom again, his dead mom. And I really want to quickly talk about that particular aspect of it. I thought it was really, really interesting. And I don't know if it's just this is the first time I'm realizing it, or if it's become more apparent since last episode, but this is the first time you're seeing Norma, his mother, as someone who's willing to do everything to help him cover up a murder. And the way I'm seeing it is Norma, when she was alive, she had all these her own shit to deal with. And she was also struggling with the fact that she was realizing that her son was crazy. But the mother version of him doesn't see that side of him. They're not like, she's never like, I'm so worried about your psyche, or like, I'm so worried about you. She's just like, let me get right into it and like help you do what you got to do. So she's
never like that like logical like voice.
So seeing like Vera Farmiga, it's cool because I just haven't experienced that kind of relationship all the 4 seasons until just now.
Yeah.
And it's not even a real
person
relationship. Yeah, it's not even a real person. It's his mind going through that kind of conversation. So I think it was just really interesting to see her becoming this like doting mother that he's, I guess, always wanted. But we never really saw that side of it because we also see all the struggles that she went through as Norma the character and not Norma the person in his mind.
So I want to ask you, because I was wondering this, and they kind of not answered it, but like they kind of showed a bit more this episode. But I always wonder, like, how does he cover up these bodies by himself?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And especially this episode, like he had Sam, and in the episode, Norma's helping him.
Yeah.
Like she's carrying the body out of the car, like how is he physically doing this? Because she's not there. Like it's just him, right?
It's true.
What do you think of that? Like, do you have to constantly remind yourself that like she's not there?
Yeah.
This kid is literally lifting his body by himself.
He has like superhuman strength or something.
Because I wonder that too. I'm like, in his mind, he is so in this with his mom, and she's so helping him get away with this murder, covering it up, taking the body somewhere. I'm like, dude, he's on his own right now though. Like, take that in.
Yeah.
And then this episode, they kind of cover that off by, I think towards the end, he was like, I gotta do this on my own.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then her figure kind of just disappears. And it's just him.
Yeah.
I'm like, true, it is just him all the time.
All the time. It's been him this whole time.
It's so crazy.
I mean, it hasn't only been him this whole time.
Not the whole time, but like most of it.
Yeah.
Most of it, right? Because like even with what's her face?
Like with
Bradley,
Jim, what's his Blackwell?
Yeah. It was him,
did that
right?
all by himself.
Yeah.
He was just, like, she was already dead by then.
Yeah.
So
it's interesting though.
It is really interesting.
So in this episode,
the
biggest thing obviously is Dylan comes back.
Dylan,
the big brother.
Yeah. What did you think about that whole situation?
First of all, I love him.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
I don't want him to come back just because, I mean, I do want him to come back because I feel like his story needs to like conclude somehow.
And he
but,
uncovers a few
I'm
crazy
scared.
things. Yeah.
I'm scared of him like dying. I don't want him to freaking die. He's like the best part of the show. But he uncovers so much. And it almost
so much that even we as an audience
like
so
as
crazy,
he's going through like the episode, I'm like, oh my god, he killed this guy and this guy, and I'm like, holy,
and this guy, yeah.
And he does a lot in the episode. Obviously, he gets to town. He sees Norman. Right, I hate this moment. He sees Norman pull up right after Norman just like hid Norma's body like in the forest. Yeah. So like if imagine Dylan came home and saw his mom's body like in the freezer, like that would have been like,
or like literally him carting him down the stairs.
Yeah, like he came at the perfect time basically.
Yeah. It would have been really awkward.
And just like Dylan's face the whole episode, like he looked so sad. He was like, dude, you're fucked. Like he's looking at his brother like, you're crazy, man.
Because again, we also see the real house again, you know, like even while Norman's in the house, we're seeing his perspective of the house, and it's like nice shiny, and clean and shiny and like brand new flowers. We see whenever someone who doesn't know he's crazy or realizes that he's crazy sees the house and how it's supposed to be, oh my god, you're like, holy shit, it's like fucked in here. So
and he's just watching him, like
he's just observing.
I know this happens like later on in the episode, but like Dylan's just observing, like he's just like, how are you living in this house alone? Like you shouldn't be here by yourself. Like you have family, you still have me. But he's just watching him. He's just like seeing how he's living life right now.
He's realizing how
and it doesn't take long before Dylan's like, this kid is legit crazy.
Right. So he does some investigating on his own when he goes into town. So he after he talks to Norman right away, he's like, are you still on meds? Are you still seeing your psychiatrist? And he's like, no, I haven't. I saw him like the other day, like in a diner.
We had coffee,
like just caught up really quick, but you know, I'm not really seeing him anymore because I just couldn't handle it after mom died. Or mother,
and you know, as he's saying it, I'm believing, like,
oh yeah, totally.
Not that I think he's lying, but I'm like, see, he's like, he's smart. Like he's like, I met my doctor, I saw him, I didn't need his help. Like we had coffee together. Like I'm like, oh, he sounds really normal, like totally normal.
So so then he says that, and then Dylan goes to investigate a little bit, but he also is like, why aren't you not on your meds anymore? Because also Norman
when did you
says
stop
like,
taking the meds?
I'm not doing meds because I think I'm okay. Obviously we know that that's not, he doesn't think that. Dylan, as soon as he like right before he left, he was like, take your meds, dude. So that was the one thing that I think he wants him to get back on. So then he went back into town, went to the pharmacist, and then he talks to the pharmacist, and it's not the psychiatrist that we met, or Norman's psychiatrist. It's some like next woman, and she was like, unfortunately, Dr. So-and-so has been missing. No, so
I think when he goes to the pharmacy, he's like, can I like get this prescription again or something? Right. And he was like, how can I like contact the doctor or whatever? And she's like, that guy's dead.
She didn't say dead, but she said he's been missing for over a year. And it's presumed that he's dead.
Yeah. So, and you're like, what?
As a viewer, we did not get that info. Hello.
You know what? And I'm so happy because they've done this throughout the whole series. You're pretty much like beside Norman the entire time. Like you're seeing everything what he does, and then you're sort of witnessing like the people react around him. But for this one, you were like, you had no idea.
Totally shocked.
And totally, I'm like, what the? Like I literally was like, this kid, he's legit crazy.
So what do you think about that? Like, do you think that I mean, other than like we this like, secret uncovering, like why do you think that they kept that from us? The writers kept that from us.
I honestly think that it was one of the first times where this has happened, where like Norman has tricked you as a viewer. He totally tricked me. Here he is talking to his brother, being like, I had coffee with him, like low key, like we were like boys. And then all of a sudden you're like, what the fuck?
You're like, wait a minute. First of all, when he do this, like you have to like look back on all these times where like
and like why did he have that why did he have that memory of the coffee at that moment? Like why was he sketching out at that moment?
Because he a lot of questions. He's still, because we were able to see that as viewers. We saw him we saw him have coffee and so wait and have a conversation.
Are you telling me when he goes to have coffee with this guy that he's talking to himself? So people didn't see that?
I guess not. Or he fabricated the entire thing in his mind. Like he didn't even go to the coffee
That's probably
shop
what happened. He probably just like made it up.
But it's just like it's kind of crazy that the writers like just like threw this at us out of left field, and it's happening in the final season too.
And
so
you know what,
like
I think there's a little bit of sadness, right? Because I think through all of this, you're still sort of like, it's okay, he might be getting better. Even you said that, you're like, I wanted to see him like make it to the end and like kind of get back to himself, and you're like, this therapist can help him, and you're like, oh my god, he killed him legit 1 year ago. He legit killed him 1 year ago.
For all we know,
this kid is gone.
I mean, I even question it like way back. I was like, how did this guy let him leave the facility so easily? A part of me feels that like
that's true.
For all we know, that part where we were asking why the psychiatrist would have let him go after he saw the side of his mom
when he exposes himself
himself as mom, and he was like, if you get in the way of like my son's health or whatever, I'm gonna have to do something about it. When he becomes his mother during that final, like one of the final like conversations that they have together, maybe that's when it happens. Like, I don't know.
This is a good question for the audience listening. Like, what do you guys think?
Yeah, tweet us about it. Let us know
what do you think
guys
happened to him.
What happened?
Do you think he killed the doctor like when he was still in the like hospital?
Yeah,
I mean, he couldn't have, because how is he gonna get away with it?
And if he did, what did he do?
But I think it must have been after. It must have been right after.
Yeah,
because I bet you when Norma died, the doctor came looking for Norman.
Maybe.
And I bet you he was like, dude, like, are you okay? Like, your mom just died. And then he killed him. Probably.
Right. Yeah. I'm sure there's, I mean,
I hope they show it. I really hope they show it.
It'll be a miss if they don't show the body or like tell us what happened exactly from some perspective, because I feel like that's an obvious hole that they've put into the story for a reason. So
and it's just also like in the entire episode, as you're learning about all these other people that are that have been killed or murdered or whatever, there's another one on the list that you didn't even think of.
Yeah. Or maybe it is a part of the 6 bodies that they found in the lake. Who knows?
It probably is. Probably is, for sure.
Speaking of which, we're talking about the sheriff.
The sheriff,
Sheriff is doing work. She's doing work. She's doing that work.
She definitely shows up like in all those clutch moments where as a viewer you're like, there's like that mental like ding in your head.
Yeah.
And she totally catches him on every single thing that he's saying. Everything he's saying to her, she's like taking a mental note.
Like
he's
finally,
he's like, oh, I clean the beds. Like when even no one's like here, he's like, I clean it. And she's like, oh, and he's like, yeah, there was a guest yesterday because like she saw the tire tracks.
It's not that
she's like, I thought there was no one here.
And here's the thing: it's not that Romero wouldn't have been that person for him too, but he was so close to the situation.
Yeah, I know.
And he was also trying to protect Norma.
He couldn't do anything. He was too close.
Norma was his.
He had
like,
so many
priority,
chances,
right?
Yeah,
but the fact that this woman is literally like booked like Norman has met his match with him or her.
It's about that time.
So she's not okay with the stories that he's trying to weave for her.
She's definitely piecing things together now. She's very low key about it though.
So once Sam goes missing, or once they find out that Sam's gone missing, she's gonna ask who was that couple that like drove away in such a hurry. And
it was Rihanna on her way to LA.
Yeah, to like create her new life.
Pande replay.
Yeah, and so we didn't. Anyway, I was gonna say we didn't really talk about how like Sam is in a well right now.
Wait, where is he?
He got chucked into a well.
Which well?
I don't know. They said there was some random ass well in the middle of the woods. That's where he dumps the body.
Why didn't he take him to the river?
Because they can't. Because that's what they found. They went to the river and they saw them extracting all the bodies.
Yes,
so
that makes sense.
Okay. Dropped them off.
Okay.
So, let's get into that final situation. Unless you want to talk about anything else.
Wait. So then, okay. And then, what's her face? The blonde girl.
Oh yeah, blonde girl.
What's her name? What's her name?
Mrs. Loomis. I don't know.
Yeah, like so. Sam's wife like comes like running up to the hotel and she's like, and she sees Dylan.
Yeah.
And
yes.
And Dylan's like, can I help you? Whatever. She's like, I'm looking for my husband, Sam. Like he like stayed here like whatever the night before. He cheated on my ass with Rihanna. And she's like, look, where is he? And then Dylan's like, who's your husband? And then he like books it. She's like, he goes missing.
Right.
And Dylan's like, oh fuck.
He's like, what is going on up in this
and
place? Why did I get
like,
here
where's
the worst time possible?
Yeah. And then Dylan's like, Norman's not normal. He's like, he's sick. He has like a mental disorder. And you need to like go away from here. And she was like, oh my god.
Like,
she's like, I had no idea. She's like, I wanted that like D so hard.
Also, like, how did you not realize?
Yeah, like please, like he's off a little bit. Yeah. But anyway, so she was like, oh my god, I had no idea. I'm surprised he didn't say like, damn, she looks like Norma.
I'm sure he felt that way.
Maybe.
I feel like he
booked
like,
it.
When I saw those glances, I was like, he's like, who the hell are you? Like you of all people, like you look like exactly like my fucking mom that just died.
Yeah.
Like it is really creepy.
I wish he had said it. But yeah, he didn't really say
Who's
it.
gonna fucking tell? He's gonna tell Emma. Like, who's
No, like even Norman, he could be like, yo, that girl looks like mom.
So
maybe he will. Who knows?
Yeah.
So then, like, he goes inside, whatever.
Yeah.
Norman, I guess, like, comes home finally from I don't know where, or he
Yeah.
was like cooking food the whole time.
Yeah. So he decides. So the Norma side of him convinces Norman to say, "Listen, Dylan's great and all. You know, he's your brother, but he gotta go because he's gonna ask too many questions, and he's gonna try to get you back on the meds, and I'm gonna go away."
And always it comes down to it's always you and me.
Yeah.
It's just the two of us against the whole fucking world.
The two of us.
And Dylan doesn't fit into this family, and
Yeah.
you know, all that bullshit.
It was kind of really sad to hear his psyche say that.
Yeah, because I'm
It was
like, Norma wouldn't
heartbreaking.
say that.
I mean, I feel like to a degree
she would. She did say that.
She did.
She did in the
she
beginning,
did way
especially.
back.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like his psyche version of Norma, his mom, he takes the pieces that he wants.
Of
That's
course,
convenient for him.
that's his psyche.
And he picks up on it, and he's like, "Well, yeah, my mom would say that."
Yeah.
At some point in time.
season 1, yeah, maybe.
in season 1,
but
like,
not in season
season
4 when
season
she was
5.
like she loved Dylan.
Yeah, she was like so heartbroken.
Yeah, but you're so right. Like it was really sad to hear that because
Yeah.
like that's still him saying it.
That's him saying it.
Deep down, his
And
like
that's him
jealousy and
convincing
like
it. Yeah.
his insecurities of like their relationship. So
Right.
it's really sad. Dylan
Which
has
is
a
also,
moment.
and it's also sad because at the end of the day, Norma's still dead, and
Mm-hmm.
like he's just fighting with himself. So it's also sad that he's like pushing the reasoning that he's making for pushing Dylan away is because he doesn't want him to know all of his secrets.
Yeah.
You know, he
just
doesn't want the
love-
help at the end of the day. Like Dylan's here to help at this point.
I love how Dylan is so like,
you know, he's coming to
like,
help him.
dude, I'm your brother. Like I love you. Like no matter what.
Yeah.
And like to hear someone say that.
Yeah.
Because like you heard Norma say it, but like it wasn't the same because like their relationship was so weird.
Yeah.
But to hear Dylan say it to him, like he's like, I want to take care of you. Like you can just trust me.
Yeah.
Like it's just like you
Yeah.
just want Norman to be like, bro, just like chill and like your brother will take care of you.
It's true.
You know?
It's true. It's just
really
sad.
So then like quick time, like Dylan has a moment in Norma's room.
Yeah,
like he starts
he's full
bawling and
breakdown.
stuff.
Oh, I just got shivers.
Because I think at the end of the day, like this kid lost his mom. Like,
Yeah.
you know, so
He never got
he's
to say
so
goodbye.
sad. It's really sad.
They left off on the worst note.
Yeah,
like,
and
she
they were
was
just
like,
getting
"Get out
to
of
a
my
good place,
life."
and then yeah.
You know, he's like, "Just leave. I'm never gonna talk to you again." Like, it left off on like, if you
How
want to
could
take
she
it back
say
to
that to
like
him? Like-
the end of season 4, like they did not leave things on a good note. So him hearing this 2 years later that she died, it's like
And then he showed like the baby,
man.
the pictures, baby and stuff. And Norman's like, "You had a baby?
Yeah, and
I want to kill it."
no, he didn't. So yeah. So then it goes to the moment where she's like, you know what? The Norma side said, "Listen, you got to make dinner. Show him that you're fine,
And then he'll dip.
He'll dip. Just show him that you're okay, and peace out."
Yeah.
So
Dylan comes home. Whatever.
So Dylan comes home and he starts asking a few questions. So
Yeah.
he came back. So this is after he comes back from town
Yeah.
and realizes that the psychiatrist is like missing.
He's missing. Yeah.
And Sam Loomis is missing. So he confronts him because he's never been
I love
one
that
to keep secrets.
Exactly. I love how he doesn't kind of beat around the bush. He's just like, "Did you kill this guy?"
He's like, "What the fuck did you
what the
do,
hell, man? Like,
What's
what's wrong with you?"
What's going on? He's like, he knows he's fucked.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm surprised that he at this point in time didn't ask like, "Yo, did you kill my mom or not?"
Yeah.
Like,
I'm sure he wants.
I'm sure he
was
wants.
going
I'm
to.
sure if he says it, he would be afraid of the answer because what do you do as the brother of this man?
Well, I think it might come down to that.
Yeah.
I think it might come down to. I think it has to come
true.
out the truth.
It's true.
So yeah, so they sit down for dinner.
They sit down for dinner. Made a
Norman's
nice
like,
dinner.
Yeah, it looked really yummy. It was like linguine or something. And they're just like whatever, they're talking and
then he confronts him. He says, "What happened to the psychiatrist?" Or no, maybe he doesn't ask about the
I think he
psychiatrist.
does. I feel like
or
he
he just
does,
like keeps that in his pocket. I know he asked about Sam Loomis. He said, "Who's that woman?" His like wife
she
by.
came looking for him.
And he's like, "Sam Loomis is not a good man," and you can see
Yeah,
it bubbling in him.
Yeah.
It's
He's
almost
getting
like
mad just explaining
he
it.
couldn't hold it in, so he just like starts like blurting out like he's like Sam Loomis. It was almost like he was justifying.
For
what
sure,
had
he
happened.
was for sure.
So he was like, he's a bad man. He
cheated on his wife.
cheated on his wife.
He broke her heart.
Yeah, and Dylan's
like, "Bro, why are you getting
so,
involved?"
Like, yeah, what's your fucking
Yeah.
problem about this? So then he starts getting like a little bit out of hand, and it really affects him. The fact that like Dylan's really prying really hard, and he's like, "What's going on with you?"
He's like, "Stop meddling with the truth."
Yeah,
and it's such an interesting line because you're like, "Bro, that's not the
but
truth,
that's not the truth because
though.
you're crazy.
Like you're
and you killed
crazy.
him. So
You're meddling with the truth. Like you're
Yeah.
distorting what actually happened."
So then
Also, I just want to say Freddie Highmore is a freaking amazing
honestly,
actor.
he needs to win something.
He needs
this
to
year.
win like every single award there is, because like I don't know what to say about this kid. He's amazing.
Literally murdered.
He's
this
amazing.
role.
He makes me feel, you know,
So
I feel
creepy.
like
I
in
feel
those
bad for
moments,
him.
it's all about the acting.
And I'd love to talk about that at the very end
Okay.
because, anyway, so we'll get to.
So
that.
he goes like, "You stop! You're meddling with the truth, whatever."
And then you know Dylan kind of takes it, and then he
like moves closer to
goes
him,
into
and I'm like,
him,
"Oh
and-
God, Dylan!" I'm like, "Back away, please!
is 5 feet away, please.
Don't hurt my baby."
So then he just says like, "Listen, I'm your brother." He has a really
Let me
heartfelt
take
moment.
care of you.
I love you. I want to take care of you. I want to make sure that you're okay. He's like, "Listen, I filled out your prescription.
He's like, "Take these pills."
And take these little pills, and you'll be fine." And
So Norman's like,
then
cool.
Norman's like, "All right,
He
fine."
takes it, but like he gets up to like go to the sink
to get some Wawa,
to get water,
and then
and then I felt it. I'm like, "Oh God!" I'm
then
like,
he's
"Here
like,
it is."
Dylan.
Oh,
I just got
it's
shivvies.
so freaky.
And he starts talking,
And then
as
Dylan's face was
Norma.
like, "Oh
He's
my
like,
God,"
"Here
because
she
he's never
comes."
seen it before, right? Obviously.
He has.
He
He
has.
saw with Emma that one night when like it took over his body and he was making dinner for them. Remember? He's making like,
Oh my God, he has seen it.
He's seen it. That's why all those moments when he's in the living room, he sees like the slippers and you know the cigarette at the piano table. Like he knows that she's kind of still
coming
in
through.
her.
She's coming through. Yeah.
In
Oh
him,
my God.
in Norman. So she takes over again, and she kind of like. Man,
it's
Freddie
his
Highmore,
body.
man,
Yeah.
like,
He
changes his
he's
poise,
crazy.
like changes his
Very
voice
like
just
he gets
a
like
little bit.
feminine, like
Gets a little feminine. She says, "Listen, I guess I can say she, right?"
yeah.
She's like, "Listen, dude, you're cool.
You're my-
Dylan,
you're
I
my
love
son,
You. You're my
but,
son.
like-
But I can only really be a mom to one person. So you gotta go.
Get the fuck outta here.
Get the fuck out of here. / I'm gonna kill you now."
Stop.
That's what he does.
Oh, I don't like that.
So at that point in time, Norman grabs a knife.
Like honestly,
And fucking
I was
lunges
gonna
at
yak.
him.
I was gonna throw up. I was like, no, I can't do this right now.
Did you
Like,
think at that moment that it was
don't
gonna
touch him.
happen?
Yeah, I thought
my
for sure he was
God.
gonna kill him.
Dylan's been through worse.
But at the same time, I'm just like, but how is he gonna get out of the situation?
And also, he's also been he's going into the situation with a lot of caution. He knows that
I hope so.
Norman is extremely potentially dangerous.
So Norman basically like gets the glass,
Yeah.
right? And he hits the glass over his head.
He smashes it over his
the
head.
cup over Dylan's head. So Dylan like kind of falls.
Falls
He falls
back.
back to the floor. He's like bleeding.
Grabs a knife.
And then as soon as he's about to stab Dylan,
Yeah.
like Norma comes.
So
it flips.
It flips a
Like
few
the
times.
perspective
So
flips.
Norma takes over, smashes him over the head, and grabs the knife. But as soon
Yeah.
like he's like literally 3 inches away from his face.
I'm like, oh God, this is it.
And it's like Norman grabs his other
His
hand,
mom, essentially.
his mom's hand, and pulls it
Such
back.
psycho.
And then there's this like
Battle. They legit fight on the
He's
table.
literally fighting
But
with
he's
himself.
fighting with himself.
And I'm so glad they show the shot
Oh my
because
God.
I was like waiting for it.
Because they show Dylan's perspective, right?
Yeah, because first they show like obviously like him tussling with
With his
Vera,
mom, yeah.
and they're like fighting on the
He's
table.
like, stop.
He's like, "Stop, mother, stop!" Because at this point in time, Norman does not want her to kill Dylan,
Right.
But for her, like she doesn't care.
Yeah.
/ like she doesn't. She's
It's
dead.
him.
It's him.
Yeah.
Sorry, I know it's really confusing, but. Then it
Dylan's
cuts
like,
to Dylan.
"Oh
Dylan's like looking
my
up,
God."
and he's like literally
Like
rolling around the table, like
Yeah.
convulsing,
Yeah.
because like that's what it looks like when
Yeah.
you're fighting with yourself. I guess when you're
Yeah, he's
fighting
like
with
holding
yourself.
his wrist, like yelling at himself.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
it's crazy, and like it was cool to see it.
So
It was really cool to see
crazy.
it because we don't get those moments often, and to see him literally fighting a knife out of his own hand, it was pretty
Yeah.
crazy to see. And
I'm like, Dylan, run! Freaking, he's just like watching.
well, he literally got
I know,
hit over the head.
I
with a
know, but
fucking
I'm like, get
piece
out of there,
glass.
please.
So
Yeah,
so he's
baby.
like watching it, and then he wins. Is that right? Norman wins.
Yes, he pinned him down.
He pinned
1,
his
2,
mom
3,
down.
you're out.
And so so then that's kind of the end of the episode. But he grabs the phone,
Yeah,
dials 911,
but like, how fast was that though?
and he's like, "I'd like to report a murder."
Yeah,
And
he's like, it's Norman Bates calling.
it's Norman Bates calling.
I killed Sam.
I killed Sam Loomis, and that's how the episode ends. at that point in time,
there's been a murder.
did
He
you
said,
think,
right? Yeah, I did it for a second.
At
I'm
that
like,
point
oh my
in
god,
time,
he
did you
killed
think
Dylan.
that they like would cut to a
He
scene?
killed Dylan, and then he called it in.
Yeah, because at this point in time, you know, the writers have done a good job incepting this whole idea that like maybe what we've seen in all of Norman's perspectives is not the truth with that whole psychiatrist thing.
Yeah.
Because now it's like totally mind fucked me.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, for all we know, like Dylan isn't even at the fucking house, so like, I don't even know what's happening. You know, like this is all.
I just feel like he has to exist, Dylan. I feel like, you know, because I love him, and also just because I feel like he's gonna be an important part of his ending, of Norman's ending.
Speaking of other important parts of his ending, we didn't really get
Romero.
to Romero.
He was in the episode. He's recovering at that woman's house.
Yeah.
She hid his gun from him, and he was really pissed. He was like, I gotta go kill someone.
Yeah, he basically spent the entire episode looking for this gun.
It's taking him a long time to like recover and come back.
I mean,
I'm kind of
he
surprised.
got shot
I
in
know.
the stomach with a
I
shotgun.
know. But he's like pushing through it hard. We'll see.
This was his like, you know, his like moment.
I'm thinking that somehow like Dylan and Romero have to like come together at some point and be like, dude, what the hell's going on?
Or it'll be like a 1-2 punch. Like one will like do it and fail, and the other one will come in and finalize the whole thing.
Do you see Emma in the ending at all?
God, I feel like she doesn't need to be there anymore.
No? Okay.
I hope that that's not the situation, because girl, you got a baby, take care of your baby.
He did end up killing her mom though.
That's
there's
true.
still
That's
like
true.
there's still that part. You know what I mean?
But do you think that like Dylan's
I don't know
there
how
to
I
rep
feel
her?
about. I don't know. I feel like he's like the ambassador for like both of them now because they're a married couple.
Yeah.
But I just feel like I don't know if I want her there. Maybe I do want her there. I don't know.
I feel like you're right. I feel like she definitely deserves an answer and some retribution, but I feel like maybe she's gonna get that through Dylan.
Yeah.
You know.
And maybe
So.
Like I don't know if the ending is supposed to be revenge. You know what I mean? Like.
Right.
There's a lot of different like elements.
And now that like literally the episode like flipped us all on our heads,
because
like,
now he's admitted to like killing
to
someone.
a murder. He can't take that shit back now. So
I mean, unless the phone was like dead and like he actually didn't call like the police department.
Like, Jokong.
He's like JK.
Yeah. We'll have to see where this all kind of goes. We still have about 3 more episodes to go.
Yeah. It's gonna be lit.
I'm super excited to see how it all kind of comes together. Do you have any theories?
No theories.
I feel like my ending keeps changing.
I know. It does keep changing. It really does
for me. So
no theories, and not necessarily like anything that I particularly want. Like I know I want Dylan at the end. Obviously I don't want Dylan to die, but I don't know what I want for Norman anymore.
Yeah
I'm still leaning towards I want to see him die, but you know, as it keeps going, like they're making it so like I'm feeling sorry for him. So I don't know.
So that was the one thing that was kind of on my final list. Is Norman finally becoming the anti-hero? And are you down for that?
That was a big sigh.
Yeah. It's a good question, right?
You know, for the greater good of the world.
Yeah.
And like for a show to speak to something.
Yeah.
In terms of like mental health.
Yeah.
And like how people, you know, people deal with this kind of thing every day, right?
Sure.
I think it speaks volumes if like this kid admits that he needs help and he goes into a treatment program and whatever, right?
Right.
Having said that, he killed a lot of people.
Yeah. So and this episode was an echo of that, you know, like I think the last 2 episodes you really see this contrast between like him trying to really figure his shit out, but also he's covering up murders at the same time. So it's like he's making all these human realizations.
Three things can happen.
Late.
Either he can go get help, he can get arrested, which might be another way of showing how like wrong the criminal system is.
Yeah.
The fact that this kid is not normal and he's being put into like
jail.
Yeah. And then he can die. And I feel like I'm kind of leaning more towards like I want to see him like suffer or like dead. You know?
Yeah. I can see that happening.
I just feel like he killed too many people, too many good people.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like Emma's mom. Like there's a lot of people in there that like
didn't deserve it. Yeah. I don't. Yeah.
Do you see some sort of closure with him and his mom, like the end scene or something with
him
like
and Norma,
him and Norma, like at the end in the afterlife? Or
actually,
something.
I love that you.
Some like gladiator.
I think
type shit.
I think it's him saying goodbye to that part of himself. That'd be really cool. We could see him having this final departure with Norma. But I don't think that it's ever going to be that situation. It was them from the beginning.
Yeah.
And it really will be them until the end. So, yeah, you're right. Maybe it'll be like a gladiator scene, like, see you in heaven.
Yeah.
See you when you're dead. See when I'm dead. And, you know, even when, if we really look back at, like, why he killed his mom, that was his intention. He wanted to double suicide each other, you know, murder suicide each other. So, you know, that's what he wanted, and it just didn't happen. And now he's kind of got to live this life on his own. And on his own, he's almost becoming more clearer minded now that she's dead, and realizing that she's dead, and having to like take care of himself. But it's like you said, it's like almost, it's too late, man. Bro, you killed so many people. You even killed your mom.
Because I can't see him like the show ending and like nothing happens to him.
But I don't know, man. Like at the same time, Freddie Highmore / Norman Bates, his character has evolved to a point where I am starting to feel like a deep sympathy for what he goes through.
Yeah.
I think it's really sad to see him really struggle with all this, because it's not just like he's like walking down the street and murdering people. He's murdering people and he's like, whoops, and then he's like, gotta cover it up, you know, like, so. And you also have to remember, like, in this particular rendition, he's like a 20-year-old kid. So, you know, we all make mistakes. I mean, we don't kill people.
I don't know.
This guy's messed up.
It's just a matter of like what story the writers wanted to tell in this entire storyline.
I'm so excited to see how this ends. And I'm sure they're going to do it.
I think they'll do an amazing job. I really do.
But yeah, I'm not really sure. It's he's absolutely the anti-hero character right now, or he's becoming that person for me. And I'd like to see him maybe try to find a way to redeem himself.
We'll see. Yeah.
Anyway, that's us.
What did you guys think?
Recap us, rewind us.
Do you like us?
Let us know. Tweet us. People who are watching Bates Motel, please tweet us and let us know what you guys think right now.
Our Twitter is @recap_rewind.
Yeah, that's it.
And we're on YouTube.
And
iTunes.
So check us out on all avenues. And that's it from us.
Bye.
Bye.